Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. My name is Jared Lee, and I'm joined, as usual, by my lovely wife, Jamie Lee. So, Jamie, how you doing?
I am doing okay. How are you?
I'm doing good. Jamie has a little bit of a voice today. If this was as of yesterday, we would not have probably been able to do an episode. But it is slowly improving as Jamie's gone a little hoarse.
I do. I am suffering from, of course, seasonal allergies, but also a little bit of a cold. So I've got a mixture going, and it is really fun.
You sound like you've been lounge singing a lot.
I'm down at the neighborhood lounge over there.
The Pink Flamingo, I think is what that would be called. If it doesn't exist, but it should.
Yeah, that's me singing the Pink Flamingo.
You can find her on
on the weekends.
Well, just Thursdays.
Okay.
Not the weekends, but Thursdays.
But I will try to keep how much I talk to a minimum because obviously it's the more I talk, the worse it gets. But I didn't want to miss a show, so.
Well, luckily through the power of editing, nobody will know how many times in the past few weeks because you have this, and then I had a like random cough that would just pop up while I'm talking.
It was lingering.
It was quite annoying. I think I'm through it for the most part now, but I would be talking and all of a sudden it would just like a normal sentence and all of a sudden I just start coughing for like 5 seconds.
So frustrating.
Yeah. Makes editing difficult, but you guys won't hear that. But Jamie is going to, she's going to tough through it.
Yep.
It's like her Michael Jordan Game 7. No, it wasn't Game 7. Whatever it was. Anyways, Jamie's going to tough through this because one reason we have a lot of stuff to talk about. There's actually quite a bit of news involving some of the water parks. Disney re-emphasizing apparently the importance of the Disney bubble, and they're bringing back a service that may be an indicator of other things they bring back. So we're going to talk about that. And in our discussion segment, we are going to talk about some strategies you can do if you're trying to, save a lot of money to go to Disney World and perhaps go on a no-park Disney trip, and some things that you can do that are really, you'll still have a great time, but it won't cost you as much money because you don't have to go pay entry fee into the theme parks.
And still get a little bit of magic.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about that in today's show. Yeah. But before we do that, just want to remind everybody, if you're watching us on YouTube, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. And if you're not watching on YouTube and you would like to, you can find us over there on YouTube at CTM Podcast. And in fact, you can become a member over there if you like what we do. You get some extra perks by doing that. And helps us continue to do what we do here, cover all these things like that. And of course, if you're listening on good old trusty audio podcast form, you can find us on all of the major platforms that are out there. We'd please ask you to please subscribe and leave us a review, as we would greatly appreciate that. And of course, if you'd like some fantastic theme park apparel that is high quality and made with just the most care that you can do, because we don't use third-party suppliers, we don't use third-party printers, we print everything in-house, we design it in-house, we ship it out to you from us. So it is the highest quality, and you get some really comfortable shirts out of it. We can do comfort colors, next level, hoodies, sweatshirts, whatever you want your shirt on, we can print it on there for you and ship it out to you. And given that it is now April, the promo code for this month has changed. It is now April is the promo code you can use to save 15% off of your order. And if you order $50 or more, you get free shipping on top of that. So you can save some money that way and to get yourself some great shirts, some theme park shirts, some pop culture shirts that will last you for years. The shirt I'm wearing, I'm pretty sure is 3 years old and it's still going good. So it's shirts that we wear all the time ourselves, so we can attest to the quality and its longevity, you could say. So if you want to check that out, you can go to ctmapparelco.com and use the promo code April to get 15% off of your order. All right, well, let's get into the news. So the first story we have is, for the first time since 2019, there has been a ceasefire in the water park wars, as both Disney water parks will be open at the same time.
Yay! So I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago about like if we thought that they would do this, and you weren't sure. You didn't think they would, but I was like, they might. But they are. So from May 21st through September 7th, Blizzard Beach and Typhoon Lagoon will be open. Blizzard Beach is actually going to close from May 1st to May 20th because it's currently open right now. And they're doing their 30th anniversary thing all this month. But it's going to close for 3 weeks and then reopen on May 21st. Typhoon Lagoon opens May 1st. And then, so that's how they start at the beginning of, Memorial Day weekend.
The kickoff to the summer, basically.
Yes, basically. And honestly, I think it makes sense because water park demands have increased a lot. since the new hotel guest perk of free admission on your check-in day was started in the beginning of 2025.
Yeah.
So
I think it's that. And also, if I were to take a guess, I think from a marketing standpoint, obviously this summer being, there's a lot of competition. Epic Universe is opening and all that stuff. I think this is also a way for Disney to be able to tout they have 6 parks. Because Universal says they have 4 because they count Volcano Bay as a theme park. And so Disney can now say they have 6 because they've kind of lately in their marketing material been listing off the sheer amount of resorts and restaurants and all the things that they have on property, which I don't recall them ever doing before. So this would just be another thing that they could tout as having more.
Remember, we got 6 of them, guys.
Right. So I think it could be part of that. But I do agree. Like, I wasn't really sure how the free water park entry would go with the hotel perk because, again, it's only on the day you check in.
Right.
And I didn't know how many people would know about it. But it does seem like, obviously it's just from hearsay, but a lot of people said the water parks are a lot busier than they have been the last few years. And I think partially because of that. And if you think from Disney's perspective, they get in for free. And more than likely people buy stuff while they're in there. So they're making money on that. I'm sure still. Also,
too, a lot of people are doing a different kind of trip where instead of staying at the same place through your entire trip, let's say you're staying at Caribbean Beach for 5 nights. On that first night you're there, you may check into a different hotel.
Right.
So that you maybe not use the water park option that first night because if let's say your flight gets in at like 5, well, you're not going to be able to use it. But if they check into a different hotel the next day, they're already there. So they can access the water park early and take advantage. And I've seen a lot of people do that, or the first night is a different hotel before they move on to the one they're going to be at for the rest of the trip.
Yeah.
It's a really good strategy to get you free water park access. I mean, like, why not?
I mean, it's not often you see anything free at Disney, let alone a park of any nature. So, I think that's something that people will utilize a lot more. So,
and that goes without saying, like, you could do a split vacation anywhere like that. I mean, you could do 5 nights and do a different night at a different resort hotel every night and go to water park every day if you wanted to. If
you're wild enough to do that. I will say, if you don't have children in tow, that's probably a lot easier. You have less stuff.
Yes.
But, yeah, I mean, there are we've done that before. There's a lot of, sometimes logistics can get in the way, like your room's not ready. But, I mean, luggage the bell services will hold your luggage for you, especially around property. Do they still transfer it for you?
Yes.
Okay. We haven't done this so long. So they will transfer your luggage for you to another resort. You just may leave without your stuff for a while because there's no timetable necessarily when you will get it. But if you're going to go to the water parks anyway, I mean, do that and take advantage of it. So good idea on that. Well, and speaking of water parks as well, we also have dates and prices for the H2O Glow After Hours that are happening at Typhoon Lagoon this summer.
Yeah, I think we announced last week that it was coming back, but now we know more information. So it will take place on, looks like a dozen or more dates. So we got May 23rd and 31st, June 2nd, 13th, 20th, and 27th. July 1st, 8th, 15th, 22nd, and 29th. August 5th, 13th, 18th, 25th, and 31st. And September 6th and 13th. Tickets are $85 for adults and $42.50 for kids plus tax. But you can save $15 a ticket if you're a DVC member or an annual pass holder, which comes out to about the same price it was last year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I remember it being around that.
And that's only for adults. Kids don't save anything. And it takes place 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. So
I mean, usually you don't see kids discounted that much.
Right.
So it's a pretty decent discount for kids.
And if you're a hotel guest, you can start booking. You can start buying your tickets for that now. If you're not, you have to wait till the 4th of April. And then it's open for everybody.
Okay. And you reviewed it last year, so you guys can go find that episode from, it had been last summer.
2 summers ago.
2 summers ago.
It was 2023.
But you guys had a good time.
We had a great time. I would definitely do it again. We went the very last event, and it was so much fun. We had a blast. It was tiring, but
well, it's kind of nice too if you think about in the summer. Obviously, it's hot, and at night it's cooler. So I always like pool activities or like water park stuff at night, just because you don't have the sun bearing down on you, and it's a little bit more comfortable. And I don't know. I love theme parks and stuff at night. It's always like night swimming. Like we did that 2 years ago, my brother came into town and we stayed at Wilderness Lodge and we like all swam at night, like stuff like that. I always enjoy that. So
Yeah,
I think that's kind of a cool thing there. But
for sure.
all right. Well, the next story, well, we kind of have, this will lead into a general discussion.
Okay.
So the next story we have here is Disney has brought back resort airline check-in pilot program.
Yeah.
So likely to expand further. And then we'll talk about what this could mean, because Disney themselves had a press release talking about the importance of the Disney bubble themselves, and perhaps recognizing it and understanding they need to try and reinforce that after seemingly over the years doing things to, take perks away from people staying in the bubble. But they have brought back the pilot program of the resort airline check-in.
Yep. So this is a very limited pilot program. Guests of Pop Century Resort can check in for their flight on property at the resort. Only Southwest is available right now. So if you're flying American, United, Delta, whatever, it's not available right now. The program will roll out to other value resorts sometime in April, sometime this month. The process allows you to drop off your bags after you've checked into your flight and paid baggage fees, because they enacted those baggage fees for Southwest.
People have grown really fond of that.
So I got to pay for those. But the same company that used to do this for Disney years ago is not the same company, but it's run by the same person. It's like a new company run by the same owner.
Yes.
So it used to be Bags Inc. And now it's this company called Bag Check, run by the same guy. Anyway, so yeah, they're starting that back up. And as far as I can tell, there's so much positivity around this that people are like, yes, bring that back. We want this.
Yeah, some more information about the company behind this. Like you said, BagCheck is a new company that is handling this. Has its roots in the former resort airline check-in process. BagCheck owner Craig Mateer is the former owner of Bags Inc., which previously handled the resort airline check-in. So apparently he knows this stuff very well. So he is the owner of the company handling this, and there is job openings on Disney property for these positions. So it is going to expand to the values first, and then so presumably this will end up at all the resorts. I'm sure.
I'm assuming. Yeah.
But I mean, I think this is something people like the option to be able to do. I mean, we've used it when we lived in Missouri, and it was a nice perk to be able to just put them there, not have to worry about your bags and things like that. One less thing, especially if you got kids in tow. One less thing you got to worry about. So I think this is a step in the right direction in doing things like this.
The only thing that is you have to check it really early before your flight. So if your flight on the day of your flight is before 1:00, you have to do this. You have to take your bags down the night before.
Yeah, that is a little bit of a yeah.
So, which makes sense because they have to have time to get it and then take it for you.
And once you give them your bags, you can't access your bags again.
Right. So if you really need something in your bags, have a carry-on with you too. And then so after 1 p.m., then you could check in that day.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. Well, and also they're not fully advertising that this is back. This is just word of mouth, essentially. Cast members
That's
are
so
telling.
crazy.
Well, I think they're doing it because it's a pilot program. They don't want to become overwhelmed necessarily.
Yeah.
But so Disney is not really promoting this right now. They're just kind of, they tend to do this like when they do mobile ordering. They start like one place and then they do another. So like instead of a mass rollout, they kind of do it slowly, which is probably a smart move, even though, the company that previously did it probably knows how to do this now because of the guy running it. But this is kind of what they're doing here. But it is interesting. This gets into further discussion about 2 days before this announcement about the airline check-in service, Disney released a PR statement about the importance of the Disney bubble. And I'll read through a little bit here. So they invited the media at a panel, and it was the importance of the Disney bubble, and they were reiterating that. And then they had a press release. And they said in the press release, a Disney vacation can be the culmination of a dream for many guests in what's known as the Disney bubble. To fans, guests embrace nostalgic memories and create new ones from arrival to departure. It's the idea of having an all-encompassing experience whilst guests are here, allowing them to visit the parks, stay on site, dine, shop, and use transportation without ever leaving property. Allison Armour, Vice President of Resorts Operations, said, I think I first heard the term from our first guest voice when we would ask them, why are you booking? Why are you coming back? Talking about the Disney bubble. They tout the amount of rooms and hotels they have. Chelsea Philly, Vice President of Customer Experience and Commercial Strategy, shared that demystifying the planning process, especially for first-time visitors, is key. Guests want to feel confident about their choices so they can enjoy themselves when they arrive in the bubble. They also spoke about the challenges of operating during COVID-19 for some reason. So Disney heard loud and clear how these decisions impacted guests, and as a result, the customer experience team was born. I've never known about this team. This is the first I've ever heard of it, that there was a team dedicated to customer experience. They hold the responsibility for understanding the drivers of complexity and looking for meaningful solutions to alleviate it during a customer's planning and booking process. I'm curious what they've been doing because it seems to be more complicated, but this committee does exist. It is a thing.
I think, too, that maybe referring to like the guest experiences, the blue tents.
It could be.
In the parks. I think that's part of it, too.
It was an interesting press release, just given I've never known Disney to directly say the Disney bubble. I always felt that was something that fans and guests would refer to as. So I would say the Disney bubble is this important thing that seemingly they're just sort of realizing. And this has led to a lot of people to think with the airline check-in coming in, Magical Express was your first step in the Disney bubble. I mean, it was the thing that literally encouraged people to, we'll take care of you. You're going to stay on property the whole time, and then we'll take you back to the airport. And I mean, and from a, not everybody used it, but from the standpoint of like, especially if you have kids, like small kids, getting an Uber or Lyft is complicated because of car seats and expense. And it was really nice when we would fly in. It was kind of like your vacation just started as soon as you landed. You go down to the Disney part of the airport and you just, you use your Magic Band, you check in. Like, it was nice to at least have the option. So I do wonder if this is step one in perhaps bringing this back. And there's also a lot of people that apparently a lot of the shuttle services have been getting a lot of negative feedback in terms of they don't run great. And also some people said,
like mirrors.
Yeah, and some of the costs have been adding up and people are doing other things. The pieces are there if they want to bring this back, and I think they should. I think it was a major mistake to get rid of it because I think this was spreadsheet management 101 of just like, and I know there's other things like the Mears contract and all this stuff went into it, but at the end of the day, if you had a Walt Disney or Steve Jobs in charge, they would just say, figure it out. Like, it was such an asset to them that nobody else had, and it gave them an advantage that they no longer have.
Yeah.
And I think I think they should do it. And, it's like, okay, you took away this one expense, but you're assuming that your revenues were just going to stay the same or grow. But I would be really curious to know, is the many people that use Magical Express and stayed on property, how much more money did those people spend?
Yeah.
Because you have a very captive audience at that point.
I mean, yeah, that's definitely something that they're probably considering. But my main thing is that, yes, they want the importance of the Disney bubble, everything is important to them because they want you to stay here. They want to keep you there. They want you to be able to be like, hey, come to the Disney bubble and stay in the bubble.
Right.
Don't go out there. Don't go outside. Stay in here.
Well, it makes a lot of sense. And I think, honestly, this is why I love competition. Competition is great because now, seemingly, from what we can tell, from what I think, it seems Disney has been caught a little flat-footed by Universal and Epic Universe. And I'm guessing by their discounts they ran last week to this rhetoric coming about the bubble, about the airline check-in process coming back, I think they're seeing something in the bookings they don't like. That would be my hunch, because you wouldn't be doing these things if your bookings look great. My guess, and I think you had said it when we were talking privately, this might be they're not liking the bookings they're seeing near Christmas, because obviously that's the busiest time of year is around Christmas time. And if competition forces them to bring back things they should bring back as perks to add more value to a trip, then I think ultimately that's a good thing. And they're never going to come out and say it was a mistake to get rid of these things.
Right.
But I think it would be good. And also things like when you buy something in the parks, having it delivered to your hotel room. How much money have they been losing out on people not buying things in the parks because they don't want to lug it around all day? Like things that are just, you would almost think are just simple.
Yeah.
Like, and I know it's like, well, like especially retail, like impulse buying is a thing in retail. How many people go in to buy something and they're like, well, it's 8 a.m. I don't want to carry this around all day. And then by the end of the day, they either forget or they talk themselves out of buying it.
Exactly.
And so it's like whatever cost it was to deliver those to the room or the hotel, I mean, I feel like you would make up way more money. And I think this is just over the years, it's been in the pursuit of profits every quarter. You nick these things away, you up the ticket prices while removing perks. And I think now they're starting to feel the ramifications of that.
Yeah.
And perhaps this is them pivoting back to getting back the perks that used to be there. And if so,
I think all the writing's on the wall,
absolutely.
at least in my opinion, that Magical Express will come back in some way. I don't know if it'll be like it was. It may not be completely free.
I need to tell you right now, it needs to be free. Because if they bring it back and they charge for it, it's just going to be another thing that a perk they got rid of, and they eventually brought it back, and now they're charging for it. So whatever they would gain back potentially would be lost in the nickel and diming of what they've been doing. Like, again, just build it into the cost. They already did this. Like, you know what I mean? It's just stuff like that where it's like it's a perceived value, but it is something I think families especially would utilize quite a bit. And it's a nice option. And again, I mean, you really will. I mean, at this point, if Disney does this, it's very likely Universal would do the same thing.
Yeah. And for sure. Like, Magical Express is the number one thing that keeps you in the bubble.
Yeah.
So do that, Disney.
Well, and it's like some people have said on comments on the YouTube channel I was talking about this. They're like, money that I'm spending to rent a car or a shuttle is money I'm not going to spend at Disney. And if you're renting a car, well, okay, might as well go to Universal. Might as well go to these places. Like, if you're going to have the car.
I have a car. I can just drive over there.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like the incentivizing of you don't have to worry about a car. And people can still leave property, obviously. But it's a little bit more of, you can get a Lyft or an Uber and things like that. But it's a lot more. It's another step to do it.
Yeah.
So them getting rid of it, I always said it was a mistake. I think it was a very short-sighted.
Everybody was mad.
Well, it's a very short-sighted move to make. And, I think it would go a long way in repairing a lot of damage that's been done to fans that have gone for a long time and bringing more value to trips. And I think that would be a good thing.
Yeah.
There's other perks I think they should bring back, but this, extended magic hours being one of them. Stuff like, longer with a lot more perks for hotel guests. If they aren't liking the bookings they're seeing, I mean, if we're being realistic about this, obviously they can't build attractions quicker than they're already building them. They're really going to be left with perks and discounts. They've already ran pretty major discounts. You could. I know people would. I'm not saying this will happen. This would be a wish list, but you could see something along the Lightning Lane multi-pass end of things where it becomes a perk to stay maybe at a deluxe level hotel. I mean, you could. I'm not saying you will. You could. Because obviously Fast Pass going away is one of the things that people that irks them the most.
Yeah.
But I mean, it would legitimately be a free perk they could throw on to, like, stay at a premier hotel or stay at a deluxe hotel and you get Express Pass included. Like multi-pass, not the premier pass or single pass, is just the multi-pass being available. I could see that potentially coming into the fold.
It's possible. It's possible.
But they're not going to make it free for everybody because they've made almost $1 billion from introducing that. But yeah, we could see on the cusp of them bringing back a lot more of these things as they compete more and more, obviously, this summer and the coming years with Epic Universe. So, it's definitely possible. But yeah, if
and right there, that whole thing about their community customer experiences and talking about the stuff that they're doing this summer, you would be silly to not know or not think that they're a little scared of Epic Universe.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't want to admit this, but it really is true. They may not be like shaking in the boots kind of thing, but they're a little concerned.
Well, I mean,
it's evident they are. Like, it's just if you see everything,
the ticket,
they're concerned.
The deal they announced last week where you get the $89 per day ticket that doesn't include Magic Kingdom. It's the other three parks. That tells you right there where a lot of their concern lies, which is the other parks. I don't think Magic Kingdom's going to have an attendance issue. But the other parks could.
Yeah.
And it's not that people may not be coming to Disney, but they just may not be coming as long. So doing things to try, basically at this point, it's like, if you can do anything, if you're Disney, to chip away days from Universal, like 1 to 2 days, like if you run these deals, you get Magical Express, you make these, it makes sense to do this. You could chip a day or two away from Universal for some families. And I think that is a strategy they could utilize on top of, I think they're trying to get more APs and Florida residents to make up the difference. So Yeah, I agree. I mean, and really too, it's just like from a consumer standpoint, Wall Street Journal talked about people inside of Disney were growing concerned because of the price hikes, and apparently the internal surveys about guest intent to return wasn't looking great. So this could be a reaction to that as well. So I don't think it's just, I don't think it's just Universal Epic Universe. I think a lot of it is stuff they have changed a lot since 2019 that they may just now be feeling the ramifications of.
Yeah.
Or at least recognizing it, I guess I should say. So, but we'll see. At this point, the next week they could have more announcements, but I think we will get.
I hope so.
I think we will get word pretty quickly about the airline check-in service expanding pretty quickly because again, there's job openings at Disney for this, and
crazy.
I think they're just going to add in more and more. By the time June rolls around, I think you'll probably have it at all the resorts, if not sooner. So, all right. Well, that's it for the news. So we're going to get to our discussion topic, which is strategies for a no-park Disney trip that you still, as Jamie says, have magic involved.
Still get the Disney magic.
No
Still there.
No magicians, though.
No magicians.
Because nobody wants to deal with that.
Not that kind of magic.
Do you think if I was a magician, would you actually ever fully trust me?
No.
I feel like magicians are untrustworthy.
Yes. They're literally like con men.
They're visual con men.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, like look what's happening. It's not real.
Yeah, and if you're a magician out there, I'm sorry, but I don't trust what you do.
This magic is not that kind of magic, sir.
It's different magic.
It's different.
Yes. So we're going to go through some things here, as I think this is an interesting topic, especially those that may want to do something this summer, but may not be in the budget for a full-on Disney trip, as that's, obviously gotten pretty pricey over the years here. So what is the first one you would say?
Okay, well, if you want to do a no-park Disney trip but still have the magic, you got to stay on property. I think that's a no-brainer.
You mean Home Suites Inn doesn't have the same magic?
It doesn't. It doesn't have the same theming. I mean, obviously, if you want to save money, obviously go for a value or even like campground at Fort Wilderness. If you want to set up a tent or whatever, hey, you do you. That's real cheap. But if you want to kind of resort enjoyment, kind of like do some of the activities around the resort, you can try Deluxe or Disney Vacation Club.
Well, and they are adding it. Yeah, it's true. You can rent points. So if you want to say, a lot of times you can find deals that way. But they are adding in this summer as well more character meet and greets at the resorts.
Yeah.
So
they are.
That is a way that you could get that aspect of things.
That's a good point. I forgot about that. Yep.
Thanks. I sometimes have them. I'm done. I had a good point. I'm just gonna let Jamie carry the rest of this. I'll have more points that aren't as good. So. But
yeah, that would be step one. Obviously, how you get to Orlando is a completely different thing. Like, obviously, if you want to save money, drive.
Hitchhiking is always.
Hitchhiking is good.
Don't hitchhike. I'm just.
No. But yeah, staying on property is would most definitely keep the magic going if you're not going to the parks.
Yeah. Well, and I think given the water park perk of when you check in, you get a free day to water park, take advantage of staying on property and then check in as early as you can or do multiple, change your hotels or whatever, but take advantage of the free water park access because it's just there.
Yeah. Especially this summer. Like, take advantage of it during the summer. If you don't go to the parks, it's too hot to be in the parks, do a water park. Just cool off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And on that same front, the resort pools, obviously, go swim at those.
Yes.
Enjoy those.
Take advantage. How many times do we come back from the parks in the afternoon and there's just so many kids in the pool? Like kids.
Well,
kids,
that's always been our
families.
Strategy to take a midday break to either go take a nap. Because again, it is going to be the hottest and the most crowded in the theme parks midday.
Yeah.
So, even if you're not going to the parks, midday is a great time to go to the pool. Chill out. Now, one way, you're looking to save even more money. Obviously, you can get some drinks at the pool. You're going to pay a little, obviously, theme park pricing at resorts. You're going to pay more for drinks, but you can bring your own beverages. I'm not saying what type to bring. You can't have them in glass containers and things like that, but you can have your own, refreshments to enjoy around the pool.
Yeah, I mean, every single pool at every single hotel of a feature pool has a pool bar connected to it.
Yeah.
It's real easy to do that.
True, yeah. And I said, even if it's not refreshments, like sandwiches and things, you can bring things to save money on that front, for sure.
But even Pop Century, your pool bar is it's petals, the petals bar. That's a nice theming. That's a little magical.
That's true. Petals have been known to have magic.
Petals. Oh
I don't know if you know this, but petals are the natural enemy of the magician
my gosh.
due to their magic properties.
Or even like Banana Cabana. That's one of my favorite pool bars.
I do like
At Caribbean Beach.
I do like Banana Cabana quite a bit.
Best food, amazing drinks. Like, it's just super cute in there.
Is Kiyomi still there?
I don't know.
Our Club 32 member Kiyomi. I don't remember if you're still there or not there. Let me know. But yeah, she's fantastic. Wherever she's at, she's fantastic at what she does.
Yeah.
So we went there one time at Caribbean Beach, and all of a sudden she was just there, and I was like, I didn't know you were here. So just nice to see her there. But yeah, she's around either way.
She's around.
Somewhere on property.
But yeah, swim in the pool. Definitely swim in the pool. And like, just a reminder, value resorts don't have a slide.
This is true. Well, and like Art of Animation has a splash pad.
Yeah.
So if you got littles that like that.
I mean, I think all the moderates and deluxes have splash pads, and just Art of Animation has one. I don't think the other values have them, but still, I mean, that's just something to keep in mind if you're going to the hotel or you're staying in a hotel that you want to have a slide, because I know that's important to some kids and some adults. Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. They also have like in the pool area, they have like different times that they have like games and activities that the cast members will do.
Dude, those are so fun.
Oh,
our daughter loves
she
those.
loves those. I mean, they did one like I said 2 summers ago when we were at Fort Wilderness or no, Fort Wilderness, Wilderness Lodge,
yep.
where it was in the evening. It was like keeping a ball up in the air, like, and you had everybody in the pool. It was almost like the balloon game where you don't let it hit the water. And I mean, there was probably like 25 people, adults and kids, like trying to keep this ball up. It was a lot of fun. It was just very simple.
And it was pouring.
Oh, that's right. It was raining.
Pouring
I mean, you're already in the water. It wasn't lightning.
Yeah, but it was so fun. It was so fun. You could also do other resort activities like movie Under the Stars. They always play a Disney movie every night.
Yeah.
You can always do that. Bonfire. We've done that a couple times.
Yeah. Make some s'mores.
Yeah. And then you have resorts like Fort Wilderness where you can do horseback riding or pony rides. You can do archery. You can rent bikes. Like,
there's a lot of stuff.
So much stuff you can do there. There's a lot of
stuff. I mean, there's Surrey. What do they call those things?
The Surrey bikes.
Surrey bikes. You can do it. Some of the, like
Boardwalk
has it.
Yeah.
Does not Caribbean Beach.
Port Orleans.
Port Orleans has it, and so does what's the first DVC hotel?
Old Key West.
Old Key West has it as well, where you can do the Surrey bikes, which I think it's like $30.
Is it? I'm not sure.
I know there's a charge of like for 30 minutes, and every 15 minutes another charge, but you can do stuff like that as well.
Obviously, the resort activities will vary by resort.
Well, they've even said part of that deal with the increased characters, there's going to be more resort activities on top of that too. So they'll have a lot more stuff, presumably this summer, going on at the resorts too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. You can also, of course, you could get a meal at a Disney resort. You could go to Disney Springs. You know. Well,
not only that, you can do character meals at different Disney hotels.
True.
So you don't have to be in the parks to see the characters. So that's another way to take the magic back. You know what I mean?
Are we taking it back now?
Take it back.
We're taking it back. Give me my magic back, magician.
That's what it sounds like.
I'm assuming this is all due to a magician.
Oh, yes, definitely. Our favorite character meal in the hotel is probably Tabalito's breakfast.
I mean, that one was pretty great. It's been a few years since we've done it, but it was atmosphere, food, and characters. It's a solid one.
I mean, that's my favorite. I mean, you could do fine dining at the hotels if you go to Grand Floridian.
They have an Applebee's there?
Yes, Jared. Yeah, your definition of fine dining.
Listen, 2 for $20 steak deal. You're not going to beat it anywhere. This is fine dining as it gets.
But you could still have like a Disney, like a magical meal at a Disney resort hotel, your own or another one, you know.
True. Well, and if you don't have kids until, like, say you and a spouse or something like that, if you go to Disney Springs, a lot of times around happy hour, there's lots of establishments that have like happy hours. Like they have price off drinks, appetizers, meals. So you can always go take advantage of that. And I mean, Disney Springs is nice just to like walk around too. I mean, you can.
Oh yeah.
You could go see a movie.
Oh yeah.
You could obviously food, drink, shopping.
The aerophile. You could take the hot air balloon.
Jared. You could do that if you wanted to. I won't be doing that, but you could do that. They have those amphicars.
Yeah.
Which those are pretty pricey, I think.
150 or 125.
Yeah, I'd say don't do the amphicars. Watch the amphicars.
Watch
I
it.
inherently don't trust things that go on land and water in that way. I just don't. I grew up with the Ozark Ducks,
Oh yeah,
where they take you on the water.
ride the ducks.
Never trusted it, and then there was a major accident with one on a lake in Missouri, and I was like, I knew as an 8-year-old this was not to be trusted.
Like,
but
this isn't for me.
yeah, that wasn't for me. But there's also bowling.
Splitsville.
Splitsville, they have that walk-up bar. They've got some good drinks there, and the food there is actually really solid.
Yeah, for sure.
And then, of course, if you want to do this, you could go to Cirque du Soleil.
Circle of the Sun.
If you would like to see French clowns, you can do that. That is another thing there.
I'm just saying. Do you think they'll bring the drone show back? Disney Springs?
It's a good question. I don't think they'll bring it back to Disney Springs because of everything I heard. It was a logistical nightmare because how many people were coming in to see the show, and Disney Springs isn't built for that amount of crowds. Because I was hearing, people were saying they were literally stuck there for hours after the show. Like if you had a stroller, you just had to sit there. So I don't think they'll bring it back to Disney Springs. I kind of was a little surprised they didn't announce this summer to bring it to, like, say, Animal Kingdom. Because I feel like that theater there is perfect for a drone show because it's over water. But I don't believe you'll see the drone show come back. Maybe it will, but I'd be surprised given everything I heard. I had a couple of cast members tell me they were like, it was a nightmare with just the amount of people coming in.
That makes sense. Also, another thing you do at Disney Springs is places like Amarez Patisserie. They have like classes. You like make like a cake baking class.
Oh, that's true.
So they have stuff like that you could do, which is kind of cool. Obviously you already said shopping, but they have shopping events sometimes.
Yeah, there's tons of. You got like
Christmas. At Christmas, they do all that stuff at Christmas.
Yeah, you got like Wine Bar George. You could go check out. Like, there's tons of restaurants. Boathouse is a fantastic restaurant.
Yep.
I've never had a bad meal at the Boathouse, and I highly recommend the lobster bisque. And if you like an old fashioned, the best old fashioned I've ever had on property multiple times was at Boathouse. Yeah, and it's cheaper. I think it's still expensive, but it was like I think it was $14 or $15. Whereas you get an old fashioned at basically anywhere else on property, it's getting over like $20 at a lot of places.
They'll hear you. Don't talk about the...
Well, the Boathouse stands on principle. I don't know that. I'm just saying. Maybe the Boathouse wants to go cheaper. And I think they also have a happy hour, so you could get it cheaper there as well. But Disney Springs, you could spend a whole day at Disney Springs if you wanted to. Just hang out. They got the Lego store. Like, there's a lot of things you can do. Obviously, you have the Disney store in there. So if you do want to get souvenirs, you don't have to go into the parks. You could go get stuff in there.
I follow this account on Instagram. I forgot I think they're the Nomad Loungers, and they talk about happy hour at Disney Springs. They have like a big list they put together of what time is at each restaurant.
Okay.
How much it costs for like cocktails, if food's included, all this stuff. They say the best value is at STK.
I was
like, we need to go to STK and try this.
Well, years ago, you said they had a burger special.
Yeah, like the sliders were like $3 a slider or something like really cheap.
I've had it before. I think I had it right around when everything reopened, and it was pretty decent. But they do run pretty. STK is not necessarily a budget place. I think it's a pretty decently fancy place.
But happy hour is really good.
Right, but happy hour, they have some pretty good deals.
Yeah. So I think we should stop by sometime.
Okay.
Check it out.
I don't know if I mentioned it, but there's movie theater too. You could always go see a movie.
You did say that. Okay. Yep.
And a lot of stuff at Disney Springs you could do.
And it's all Disney-fied. So, yeah.
True. This is very true.
You could also do miniature golf. You can do Winter Summerland or Fantasia Gardens.
Mini golf's always a good time.
Which we've done Fantasia Gardens. I don't think we've ever done Winter Summerland.
No, we haven't done that one. We haven't done that one.
That's on my list to do. And Fantasia Gardens is right by, it's like right across from the Swan Reserve.
Yep.
And then Winter Summerland is basically right outside the entrance to is it Blizzard Beach?
Probably Blizzard Beach.
Is it Blizzard Beach? Or is it Typhoon?
I'm pretty sure it's Blizzard Beach because it's winter.
Right,
summer.
Right, yeah. So they're not like hard to get to.
Well, you could do your free water park day at Blizzard and then go to golf. And
I think it's been a long time since I've done these packages, but doesn't like Magic Your Way Disney package include like a free round of golf?
Some of them
used to.
Some of them do, I believe.
Okay.
I don't know if it's current right now, but I agree. They used to. I don't know if they currently do.
I'd have to check on that, but that was the thing.
Yeah. Well, you could also, this is still free. Magical Express may be gone, but you can still do like Skyliner boats, monorail. That's in, obviously you can ride those to go to different places. Like Disney Springs is a good, if you don't have a car to go to other resorts, which I guess could lead into you could do resort hopping.
Yeah.
Going to Disney Springs, you can take a bus to any of the resorts from that point. You're not going if you're staying at say Pop Century, there's not a bus that will take you to another resort.
Right.
So you either have to go to a park drop off or Disney Springs and get on another bus.
Yeah.
So
basically like you could take a bus to like Polynesian from Disney Springs and then take the monorail around.
I mean, if you're talking food, just atmosphere, going over to the Polynesian and hanging out, it's never a bad time.
Gosh, I love doing that.
And even the new, the
Pineapple and I.
Yeah, the new restaurant or the new hotel DVC part of Polynesia.
The Island Tower?
Yeah, Island Tower. The restaurant in there is actually really good.
Wailulu. Yeah.
And they've had really good views. I mean, you could sit there and watch the fireworks.
Speaking of watching fireworks at night from the hotels.
From the hotel, there's a lot of places you can still check out the fireworks, which obviously you're not going to have the castle projections and things like that, but you can still check those out.
On certain days, they don't allow outside guests to come in, like 4th of July and New Year's Eve, but
outside of major holidays,
that, you're fine.
Yeah. I mean, you can also, the boardwalk is a good place. Like, there's always stuff going on the boardwalk. You could, they have street performers. There's a bunch of food. You
have those games.
You do have those games. You can still go to Atlantic City Dance Hall.
Yeah.
The other one.
Jelly Rolls closes this month, doesn't it?
You can try and get in Jelly Rolls before it goes away if you want. But
you could do that.
Yeah.
Have we heard anything else about where they're going?
I haven't heard. They may have said, but I haven't heard anything officially.
Okay.
But I mean, I never. It's not a place I enjoy anyway, so I wouldn't be seeking it out. But I'm sure they'll end up somewhere else. In the area. Like I said, resort hopping is always fun to do, especially around like Easter. They've got all the Easter egg stuff and like Christmas and things like that.
The Easter eggs and stuff are out at the Contemporary. They just came out yesterday, or I guess it was Tuesday, and then also at Beach and Yacht Club.
Yeah,
and stuff. And I think there's some at Boardwalk, and the Grand Cottage is open at Grand Floridian and have all the eggs and stuff too. But like you were saying, Easter, you could resort hop or the monorail resorts and see all those. It's kind of cool.
I mean, you could go visit the Polynesian and get a shirt there that made it seem like you stayed at the Polynesian without paying $800. I mean, it's kind of like you remember Planet Hollywood was a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could just be like, yeah, sure, I've been to this Planet Hollywood, even though maybe you haven't. But you can tell people you have. If
you're crafty too, like resorts like I know Coronado Springs, they do like a mosaic thing that you could do. Fort Wilderness does like a wood carving.
Yeah, I mean, you can find a list of all the resort activities because you don't have to be staying at those resorts to partake in those activities. So technically, if there was something going on at another resort, you could get over there and do them. So you can find a list of those things, which could be, there could be tons of stuff that you could do at different resorts. Yeah.
I was thinking about, like, when it comes to us, like, unless we're going with, like, other people or our kids or whatever, we don't really spend a lot of time in the parks anymore. We spend more time outside of the parks, I think.
Yeah, it kind of depends. I mean, if we're there to check, like if there's there's not right now, but if there's like a new attraction or something. Yeah. Yeah, but for the most part, like a lot of it more is relaxing a bit more.
Yeah, it's just like more of our vibe to not do like a, like rope drop to close kind of day anymore, unless we're with other people. Like if it's just you and me going, I don't think we would do that. You know what I mean?
No,
it's just not how we roll.
I mean, I will be doing that for Epic Universe, but outside of that,
that's a brand new park, sir.
Right. I mean, we've gone enough where it's like it's not a vital thing to go from rope drop to park close. But like when my brother's coming in, obviously we spend more time in the parks with family and things like that. But yeah, anything else you want to add to the list here?
I mean, I guess you could take a minivan. That might feel, Disney-ish.
Yeah. You could.
It does cost a little bit, so you'd have to pay. But I mean, going from like resort to resort is easy to do.
True.
And another thing you could do, this is technically not. It's not owned by Disney, but I guess it's technically on Disney property, kind of. You could stay at Four Seasons.
I thought you were saying we were saving money on this trip.
I mean, you could save money. I didn't say like cheap Disney. I said keeping the magic.
Oh, gotcha.
So like they have a character breakfast called Goofy Character Breakfast, I think, or character meal, or I forget what they call it, but it's only a couple days a week, and it's got like Mickey and Goofy, and
I've actually heard really good things about that character breakfast.
I've heard it's really good, and I really want to try it. It's actually not that much more expensive than the other ones at Disney.
Do you have to stay there to do it?
No.
Okay. Well, yeah. You don't have to stay at Four Seasons. You could just go.
No, you could just go and visit for sure. So that's another option to keep the magic alive. Go to the character breakfast there.
True. Very true. Well, I mean, if you're into golfing, there are golf.
Not mini golf.
Not mini golf. Regular golf. If you like to be frustrated most of your day, you can do. They have plenty of golf courses on Disney property. So if you want to check those out, you can do that. And those are, I played 2 of them. They're good courses. There's one of them used to be a PGA Tour stop, I believe, but they are good courses. I would, if it's in the summer, I would golf early because that Florida sun will get you out there, but you can do that. And I mean, if you're talking about resort hopping, or if you wanted to stay at Wilderness Lodge, one of my favorite spots is sit down like in the evening and have a meal, and like you can see the fireworks from here as well as Geyser Point. Yeah, the pool. It is really, really good food. It's kind of an open air type thing out there, and in the evening times, it's one of my favorite spots to sit around. And you can go to the bar and just get a drink and hang out, or you can get some food. There's TVs. I mean, admittedly, I just love Wilderness Lodge in general. It's worked its way up to definitely my top 3 resorts, and even there, like it's kind of like, I mean, if you're at Christmas time, go check out the lobby in there.
Heck yes.
So there's plenty of things going on around there. And you can take a boat from there to, over to Magic Kingdom if you want to go that way. You got boat transportation, you got buses and stuff like that.
Yeah. Fireworks cruise, which you talked about doing a couple months ago. We talked about doing that. That's another thing you can do. Yeah.
And I mean, you can always get a button, even if it's not a special occasion. I mean, a lot of times Alaska, you can always get a button at your resort as well. So that's something you can get that's not going to cost you anything to add on.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, you can get real creative. Again, I mean, Disney has the advantage over everybody else. It's the size of Manhattan, so it's like an entire city. So there's
so much to do.
Yeah, I mean, you can really look into the details and so if you really want to save some money and not going to the parks, but still enjoy, being in the Disney bubble, there are things you can do that you can still have a really good time with.
This is why doing a beach vacation terrifies me, because I'm I'm going to be so bored.
Oh, I'm not.
What do? You just sit on the beach all day? That's it?
You know my stance on the beach. I think the beach. I like a beach view for about 30 minutes. And then I'm like, what are we doing? I think for a night or two, it's one thing. But if you're just day after day, let's go to the beach. I'm like, I don't want to not do anything.
See, that's my parents. They have a condo on the beach, and they're actually going next week. And I was like, that would be fun for a day. And then I'll be like, okay, let's go do something.
I mean, we went and visited them there last year, and we were there for an afternoon, and I was just by the end of the day, I was like, okay, I wouldn't. Yeah, it's not for me. I know some people enjoy that.
Right. Yep.
Your dad enjoys waking up to the ocean.
It's his thing. He loves that.
I mean, I get it. Water's calming, but for me, I would rather do stuff. But yeah, there's. I mean,
it's you're not waking up at 6 a.m. and getting dressed and standing on a rope to go ride your favorite ride. You're not doing that. Then what are you doing with your life?
I mean, if I'm being honest, I don't necessarily like that either. But
you're not staying up till midnight and doing an after hours event at Disney. What are you doing with your life?
Well, there's that too. You can do those. I mean, technically, if you want to do the parks and get the most, let's say you just wanted to have a day to go do something. If you did an after hours event, let's say Magic Kingdom, I mean, those are going to cost money, but you're going to be able to ride basically everything in the park that otherwise you would have to get an express. Otherwise, you'd have to get a lightning lane for and pay park admission. That's one way that you could kind of budget out a little bit more to have a day where you take advantage of an after hours event.
Yeah. If you're doing the park.
If you're doing a park, or if you want to throw in a day there, you could do that. But yeah, I mean, there's lots of especially if you're going to be more relaxed and just kind of enjoy the food and drinks and the atmosphere. I mean, there's a lot of options you can do. And really, I mean, again, with the perks they're throwing in with the water park for free on the day you check in, there's a lot of extra things this summer
it's easier.
Right, that they haven't done previously that you can really take advantage of. So, I mean, if I don't know if you're going for a week, I don't know, but for sure 2 or 3 nights you could fit a lot of stuff in, have a really good time, and not break the bank and still enjoy it.
Yeah, I don't know if I would do a full week at Disney and not do the parks. I think I would do a resort only vacation for like a maximum of 3 nights.
Yeah, like a weekend.
I think that's enough.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, you could, but I think you'd be stretching it, and you might get a little bored. But.
I mean, maybe. Yeah.
But yeah,
but there's so much to do. So it's like if you want to do everything in the list that we talked about, then you may need a week to do it.
Yeah. I mean, you can for sure have a little weekend getaway, do some stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But anything else you can think of? Anything else you want to add?
I was just going to say, you could also, and people have done it, and I think I've mentioned this before, but you could do a 1-day Disney trip without staying on property or staying in a hotel at all.
You mean go to the parks?
You could go to the parks in this case, but like that would really save you money. You'd spend on your flight and the park ticket or the ticket to get in.
Oh, you mean fly in day up?
Fly in the morning and then leave that night.
I mean, people do that.
I have seen many people do this. I'm like, that's exhausting. But like, if you really want to go.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think that's very relaxing necessarily.
Oh,
but
not at all.
You could save some money on not getting a hotel and things like that, for sure.
I mean, like, you could take a flight at like 5 or 6 in the morning. Yeah, spend like 8-9 hours in the park, go back to the hotel.
You mean go back to go
back to the airport and get on a flight and head home.
True.
I mean, it might take you a full 24 hours to get home, depending on the flights and stuff, but.
Yeah.
I've never done it because obviously we live in Florida, but
it'd be a very short flight.
Yes,
like
it would.
10-minute flight, and they don't exist.
They don't exist.
I don't think they have flights going directly to Orlando.
I don't think you can fly Jacksonville to Orlando, can you?
No, that would be.
I don't think so.
That would be a literally 30-minute flight.
Yeah.
I mean, by the time you did all the stuff that goes into it, you would might as well just drive.
I once flew from St. Louis, Missouri to Indianapolis. I think it was somewhere in Indiana, and the flight was like 45 minutes.
I remember we flew from Chicago to Springfield or St. Louis, and it was like a 45-minute flight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very short.
Yeah.
So that's a longer distance too. So you're probably it may be in less than 20 minutes, but you could do that. But I mean, obviously, all this this could just be a list to get you started if you're looking at doing something like that. But there's lots of things you could do, but. I mean, for me, I would if it's just you and I on a weekend, like I would love to stay at like Wilderness Lodge and just have like relax, have some drinks, chill at the pool, go to the water parks that's included, go to Disney Springs. Like you could easily do 2 or 3 days there, kind of relax, enjoy yourself, feel recharged.
You know what's okay? This is what I would do. Let's say we have like a Friday to Sunday, like 2 nights. We get to Disney early. Like 9 o'clock, go ahead and check in, go right to the water park. Stay at the water park for, I don't know, 3-4 hours, whatever. Get done, get showered and dressed, get into our room, and then go have like dinner or something at Disney Springs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The next day, sleep in, obviously, because you don't have a park to go to. And then you go to the pool. If this is in the summer, obviously. Then go to the pool, enjoy the pool. Maybe do some of the resort activities we talked about, do some resort hopping, and then obviously, eat again at one of the hotels or whatever. And then Sunday, spend the day doing mini golf or something before you head home. But like, there's so much you could do.
Yeah, for sure. So definitely have some options there. So if anybody's looking at doing that, hopefully that helps you out or gives you some ideas. Or even if you're going on a trip and want to do things than just the theme parks, there's lots of things you could check out and do. So
yeah,
I mean, I know for our kids, like movies under the stars or anything would do with a pool. Like kids love pools in general. So stuff like that is always going to be hit with kids and things. So even if you got kids in tow, you can do some things and get them some souvenirs and then tell them later that you guys went to the parks. They just don't remember it.
Our kids would be fine not going to the parks.
I know.
We're going to a pool? Cool.
Yeah. Honestly, at this point, I mean, they would probably...
We're swimming? Cool.
I mean, when we stayed at Terra Luna last week, we told our son we were going, and he was like, no. We were like, well, and he didn't want to do anything else. We're like, well, we're going to go to the pool. And he's like, oh, okay. And then he was good to go. So
yeah. As soon as he heard that, he was like, yes.
Yeah. So pool is a major feature for children that you can take advantage of there. But But either way, well, I think that's going to do it for the show. So be sure to check us out on social media at Captain Magic everywhere. And I have been posting more on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. And we are doing some, like when I go live on Captain Magic, on doing some live stream shows over there. They are also over on X now, so you can check us out there and all the other social platforms. Of course, the main YouTube channel at Captain Magic. I have daily videos that come out, theme parks, pop culture, things like that. So we're over 11,000 subs there. So go join over there. So having a good time. And of course, if you want video versions of this show or the Universal show over on YouTube at CTM Podcast, you can check us out over there. And then we have other shows on the network. We have the CTM Universal show where we talk about Universal Studios. We just had an episode come out on Monday with some more Epic Universe news, and we did our Terra Luna review of the newest hotel at Universal. So if you want curious about that one, or Stella Nova, we have a full review breaking it down and which hotel we would recommend it, or if either one of those, if we would recommend staying there if you're looking to go over for Epic Universe or Universal Studios. And then Jamie has Trip Tales, which is her trip report show.
Yep, I have that once a month on this feed. And if you are interested in being a guest on a future Trip Tales episode, you can go to ctmtriptales.com, fill out the information about your trip, and if I'm interested in having you on the show, I will contact you. My guest I was supposed to have for April fell through. So I haven't looked at my other emails that came through, but like if you are taking a trip here soon and you haven't put your information in, go ahead and fill out that form because you could still qualify to have your trip on the show. So just FYI.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for the show. So thank you, everybody, for listening and or watching. And thank you, Jamie, for joining us.
Thank you.
And as Jamie always likes to say,
we will see you in the parks.
Bye.